All right, guys, 2 games down already, but there's still plenty of players that I'm bullish on for week 1 in fantasy. Let's check them out. The first player I'm bullish on this week is Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray. Now, I think this is the season where Murray gets back close to where he was a few years ago when he was a top 5 fantasy quarterback option. And he's going against the Saints defense that was bottom 3 in total yards allowed last year. So what better opportunity for Murray to get off to a hot start? And I think he has both a rushing and a passing touchdown this week. So start Kyler Murray. The next player I'm bullish on, Seahawks running back Kenneth Walker. The 49ers gave up the second most rushing touchdowns last season, and Sam Darnold was second in the NFL in play-action passing. So I look for the Seahawks to lean on Walker in that rushing game to open up the play-action passing for Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp underneath. But I still think Walker ends up with over 100 yards and at least 1 touchdown on the ground. The next player I'm bullish on, Carolina Panthers rookie wide receiver Ted McMillan. The Jaguars were bottom 5 in just about every major category last season, and there's honestly not much else for the Panthers, so I expect McMillan to be targeted early and often. And I think he finds the end zone in his first game. The next player I'm bullish on this week, Cincinnati Bengals running back Chase Brown. And where I think he's really going to shine against the Browns is in the passing game. The Browns will be without their best linebacker in Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on second-round pick Carson Schlesinger. And I wouldn't be surprised if Brown ends up with double-digit targets. Another player I'm bullish on this week, Jacksonville Jaguars receiver Brian Thomas Jr. Now, obviously, all eyes are going to be on first-round pick Travis Hunter to see what he can do. But I think Thomas Jr. and Trevor Lawrence pick up right where they left off last season against the Panthers defense that was one of the worst in the league. And I think Thomas Jr. gets into the end zone and has over 100 yards receiving, and I think he has a big year for your fantasy team. Start Brian Thomas Jr. And that brings me to my blue chip stock player of the week. And this week, it's Washington Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels. The Giants' defense isn't even that bad, but coming off an outstanding rookie season and with high expectations, I expect the Commanders and Daniels to get off to a hot start against a division foe that's still looking for long-term answers. And I expect Daniels to have multiple passing touchdowns and at least 1 touchdown on the ground. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about Daniels as a blue chip stock player multiple times this season. Now let's check out some of the players I'm bearish on and I'm avoiding for this week. The first player on my bearish list this week, Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Now, this was the type of revenge game that a few years ago someone like Aaron Rodgers would have eaten up. But this isn't the same Aaron Rodgers anymore. And this is the Jets defense that's very talented, and they'll be looking to prove that they made the right decision in not bringing Rodgers back. So I think they make it tough sledding for the Steelers this week, and I'd avoid starting Rodgers on your fantasy team if I were you. The next player on my bearish list, Raiders rookie running back Ashton Jeanty. Now, I'm actually really high on the rookie himself, but I think new head coach Mike Vrabel, who's known for his D, is going to scheme up something good against the dynamic rookie to delay his breakout for at least 1 more week. The next player on my bearish list, any Indianapolis Colts wide receiver. Now, Daniel Jones winning the quarterback competition over Anthony Richardson was definitely the best for the Colts receivers fantasy-wise. But if they want to have any chance to beat the Dolphins in week 1, they're going to have to lean on Jonathan Taylor in the ground game, which doesn't involve any of the receivers. The next player on my bearish list, Chicago running back DeAndre Swift. Now, I actually have Swift in a few of my leagues, but their opponent this week, the Vikings, were second best against the rush last season, and they added Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrove to the defensive line. So I'd look elsewhere this week at the running back position if you can. That's going to bring me to my penny stock player of the week. And for week 1, it's Tennessee Titans wide receiver Calvin Ridley. Now, Ridley's got a rookie quarterback in Cam Ward, and he's going to be matched up against Defensive Player of the Year Patrick Surtain II. And that Broncos defense is going to put a lot of pressure on Ward. So the coaches will most likely want to lean on the running game to help take that pressure off of him, which takes away the opportunities for Ridley, not to mention the fact that he'll be going up against Patrick Surtain. So you want to avoid Calvin Ridley this week at all costs. All right, that'll do it for my bullish and bearish list for week 1. I'll have recaps after the games. And don't forget to keep sending me those lineup questions. Let's go!